you entertain me. Do you understand? Yes. Do you understand me? I've been through a lot in this Lagos already. Have you ever given your clothes to a dry cleaner before, and when you are going back to collect it, the guy is giving you something totally different from what you gave him? I gave one dry cleaner native, top and trousers. 3 days after when I went to collect my clothes, the guy was giving me mini skirt and bed sheet. I'm not telling the guy that, bros, I'm sorry, no be waiting I give you be this. It's his response that killed me now. The guy was like, where am first? He go size you. Well, I don't understand. Don't look at the queen of Africa. What? Mini skirt. And those people and tailors.
Ovy Godwin right there. Of course, as you can tell already, he is a comedian, host, and MC who has been doing stand-up comedy for over 4 years. Ovy is witty, informative, and very animated when he tells his jokes.
Yes, now he's performed plenty places over the years, of course, BOVI'S Man on Fire, Rhythm Unplugged, and so on and so forth. But it's good to have you here, Ovy. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Grand. Stand-up comedy in Nigeria has come a long way. Everybody can testify to that. But recently, it's, well, let's say it's
More
the money...
skits, yeah.
What?
You're talking about the skits, huh?
The skits, yeah, exactly. I'm going to talk about the evolution. Recently, it's kind of like evolving into skits and all of that. But first off, let's talk about you inside of the stand-up comedy environment. How did you get started?
My friends, they put me into the trouble.
They put you into that trouble?
They set me up. When I was in school, some years back, they saw somebody performing on stage and they were like, Nero and Aisha, they were like, Ovy, you can make us laugh better than this guy now. And that's how friends used to set you up to shame, you know. So they made me feel like...
Shame you.
they made me do it, and that was the first time I tried it. And there's always the luck of doing stand-up for the first time. You kind of just scale through, but the second time, you know, you pull your family name into the business and you embarrass yourself. So, but then I stopped stand-up after that time until 2017.
Oh.
When I kick-started with Omo Baba #1's comedy club.
Yeah,
I remember at that time. So that was my work center.
Okay, so, you know, for many people, especially when it comes to the entertainment industry, it's either they stumbled into it or they, you know, got dragged into it. In your case, you were dragged, and then later you started to enter it.
Yeah.
But as a comedian, how do you gather your material? What inspires your material?
Okay, so because the jokes I find exciting to do are facts and information I think they are random or the ones that people are not aware of. And they may be very personal stories. If I experience them personally and it hurts me, if I can feel pain, then I can make you laugh. So that's always why I center my jokes. Then if you listen to more of my material, you see that the material is about information around the world.
Okay.
And then I find the funny side. Then I think that's where the natural inclination to be hilarious comes in. If you are creative with the humor, that's where the natural gift of you know, the gag comes in. If you're able to make people laugh, think about it in your head. What do you think would be the ridiculous side of the story?
Yeah.
And then put it out. And then
Have you ever been heckled? And how would you, you know, how would you treat that?
All right, so there are a couple of places there that you should not like go to if you don't want to suffer. Stand-up comedy. There used to be some poor comedy clubs. Now, when I say comedy clubs, they are not necessarily a clubhouse. It's like how you think about a gathering of book clubs, science clubs.
Exactly,
so a place where people come to.
We have those in
Nigeria. There are very few of them. We have SLK, G1. I used to do them, but we just put it on a halt for now. Okay. So there are some that I've experienced.
Well, that's true. D1's comedy club. Everyone's.
Yeah, Oh, okay. Yeah, D1's comedy club.
So you're saying those clubs you shouldn't go to if you don't?
No, not those ones. There are some. So for my safety, I'm still very young in the work.
Yeah.
So I don't want somebody to say, hey, you want to take it to the UK? Okay, let's see now. You say my comedy club is rubbish. So some of them, they don't tame the audience to understand that you can't be bigger than the performer. So you have to respect the act on stage. Oftentimes, you won't listen to what you don't respect. So you have people say, hey, come over there, who be this one when they talk? You speak English for us. My stand-up comedy is in English language.
Yeah.
And not to say that you yelling at me makes me like maybe a coward, or I know my comedy is good because I've heard like the very big names do it, talk about it. I've been on platforms that count, and every time I finish my stand-up, people are always coming to meet me and request for me for jobs. So it means I'm trying.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
you're trying,
doing
don't
well.
worry. We'll give that to you.
But then you have people yelling. So I had that one time. Come on there, who be this one? You follow me the one you just we did for school, we did, you know.
But really, Ovy, have you ever died on stage? Like, you know, that's
good.
that's oh my God, I can't
Freeze.
see. It's even yeah, I can't remember one. Like that feeling of just tell us, have you ever?
Yes, I think it happens to even the
best.
biggest
The
of
best.
of names. But this one, yeah, I actually the dying I died was ladies. Ladies were the one crucifying me. Hey, you are too dry. Can somebody pour water? I was
Aye.
like, gosh,
Ouch.
like
No,
God.
I ain't out. Exactly.
You know, so I had that problem, and I'm not dry. It's my mouth. It's because come on here, your mouth is dry. 'Cause you're not dry.
Wow.
So I had that, but you always you don't see, like someone used to give an example. The best or the greatest don't always have it perfect, but it's just that you show up at most times. That will count.
Yeah.
So
So you said something I want to pick on here. You said your comedy is in English. This makes your comedy exportable. But do you think that you would stand up in a foreign audience? Do you think that your comedy will hold its own in a foreign audience? I mean, if you take even the indigenous comedians who
Yeah.
speak in pidgin English, we've had cases where they're exported and they do grand basketball. He does pidgin English here, but when he's outside the country, he does English.
yes,
And it's you know, it's still rather funny.
yes.
Do you think you can hold up a British or American audience?
Okay, so firstly, I'll say yes. And that's because I've done a couple of niche crowds in Nigeria where you have like people from the Netherlands, people from China, people from parts that don't know what's happening in Nigeria and had a great time. So, but comedy is relative because it's depending on the topic or the matters you decide to talk about. So if, like for example, when you see the big news, when they go there, this is no shade. Oftentimes it's to Nigerian people in diaspora. So you're kind of familiar with the culture and things to talk about. But when you're performing to like whites, like real foreigners that don't know how Nigeria works and not related to Nigerians, you need to have only particular jokes that can cut across.
Yeah.
I find that really very true because the British are known for their dry humor.
Yeah.
Very.
So you need to be able to key
Intellectual.
into that, or they're just going to be like, "What's it on about?" Like they won't be able to relate.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
talking about relatable jokes, how do you create jokes according to the kind of audience you have?
Okay, so one kind of hack that works globally is relationship jokes. So when you come to people around,
Everybody
just
falls in love.
talk about your lover, talk about maybe your parents and the contrast in how you are so mild here and how we are tougher
In
there,
Africa.
and then bring global stories. So from like very big presidents around the world, people that draw attention, Putin, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, then America's president.
You
So
seem to have all this down to a T. I find it very, very, it's like everything's well arranged and orderly.
You have
it's got
no
every
idea
answer.
what I just wanted to ask.
What?
you.
What?
I was going to ask him that. You know, actors have, acting school.
Yeah.
Is there a comedy school? Because he does seem to have all the
exactly.
facts to a T.
Very good question.
I've
Is there a
never-
comedy school?
yeah, I've never
I've
come
always
across it.
wanted a situation where, because I don't know, MM can testify. Am I not a great comedian under certain circumstances? Aren't I? I'm a great comedian, aren't I? Come on. Get out.
You have your answer.
But my point is, I wish there was a place where I could go to hone that skill. Albeit it's a very small ability.
Yeah.
I might not be funny, but I know that perhaps maybe if I was schooled, I could,
you
perhaps
could
get better.
try to risk the pain.
Yes. Is there a comedy school?
Okay, not that I'm aware of.
Have you ever thought about it?
Yeah, but this is the thing with like.
Abi is ability and ability.
Good. So this is the part. Almost any soft skill is teachable. However, the part of the brain that requires you to convert things to ridicule is oftentimes innate.
words.
Oftentimes it's like innate, is from within. So you can't teach somebody how to convert things to ridicule. It's somebody that likes to see the ridicule in things that you can help to hone, to polish more, then push it out there. So oftentimes, that's why the comedy school, there was one very, very, I don't know if I call it maybe a very scandalous video of somebody that did British Got Talent, and she went to the comedy school, and when she tried her first joke on stage, you could hear the silence. It was hammer time, it was desert.
So just before we get to the kitchen,
Because we're taking it there.
yeah, because we're taking you there for breakfast. I have one question to ask you. How do you test your jokes? How do you test it out?
Okay, so first things first, it must be funny to me. Yes. Then a couple of guys you just chip it in the conversation.
Try it around and
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Those my
Litmus
guys
test.
are also inclined, like Package, Oscar Franklin, and SLK. So we're always very together. Yeah, that's good that you can add this and add that. Then
Okay.
thirdly,
Build on it.
the comedy clubs.
So the best way to test is in front of an audience.
Audience lower than 100 people.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll even say 50 is even good.
Okay.